Hey everyone! Welcome to today's video. I'll be setting up June in my B5 Archer and Olive bullet journal. I hope you enjoy the video and let's get started. I've gone ahead and lightly sketched out my spreads in my bullet journal as well as my cover painting. As usual, I'll be using my St. Petersburg White Nights watercolor palette for the cover painting as well as the monthly spreads. For my brushes, I'll be using a variety of sizes of the Pentel Aquash water brush pens for convenience, and of course, clean paper towels to clean the brushes on. Jumping right into the painting, I've sped this footage up to 3 times the speed. I'm using my B Paper Company watercolor paper for the cover, which I have taped down onto my acrylic clipboard with some painter's tape. This will keep the paper from moving, provide clean, crisp lines when needed, as well as keep the paper as flat as possible. As you may have already guessed from the thumbnail of this video, my theme for June is a poolside summer theme. I wanted to include some warm weather staples such as flip-flops and a floaty to add some character and color to the piece. You may notice that I tend to jump around the piece working on several different areas, and that's due to drying time. I am by no means a professional watercolor artist, but I found that one of the biggest tips that helped me improve on my watercolor technique and enjoy painting with watercolors more was to allow the paint to dry in between layers. To me, that also means to not paint around or next to that area either until it's fully dry. Otherwise, the colors will start to bleed together and it won't produce clear distinctions between different elements on the painting. Unless, of course, if that's what you're aiming for in your piece. The reason why I prefer to paint my cover painting on watercolor paper instead of directly on the Archer and Olive paper is due to a few reasons. The Archer and Olive paper can withstand watercolor on it without bleed through and minimal warping when using water sparingly. However, the paper absorbs water very quickly compared to proper watercolor paper, which doesn't allow very much time for seamless blends or the ability to work with the paint before it dries. Although pasting in watercolor paper into the journal does add a little bit of bulk to it, it personally is minimal enough to where it doesn't bother me. And another reason why I prefer to paint on separate paper is the fear of messing it up in my bullet journal, and will most likely have to cover it up anyway. It's an irrational fear, I suppose. Anyway, enough rambling and onto the actual piece itself. For the floaty, I decided to go with a soft orange shade to contrast nicely against the water I'll paint in a bit. Since orange and blue are complementary colors, this allows the colors to pop. Now for the most exciting part of this piece, the water. This is a new technique that I just discovered, where you paint little blobs next to each other, leaving a thin, blank space in between each shape. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. But for some reason, I thought this gave off a really cool water-like effect. I changed up the shapes and sizes of the blobs to make it look more like organic ripples or waves in the pool. To add more visual interest and realism, I would slightly alter the color of each blob as well. For some spots, I'd add a little more blue, others I'd add a little more green. For some, I'll have more paint on the brush, and others I'll have more water instead to create more variation in depth and lighting in the pool. While some blobs were still wet, I'd go in with dabs of more saturated color. This allows the paint to disperse throughout the blob and create a unique appearance to each shape. This also helps to prevent each blob from looking flat. I've never painted water like this before, so I was pretty hesitant going into this piece. I'm proud to say that I'm really happy with how this piece looked in the end and how everything came together. I've always been pretty weary when painting water, especially when it came to the details and lighting. Let me know what you think of this technique and if you've tried it before, or if you are planning to try it. I went in with one last layer of color and dabbed it on top of each blob. Again, this will just help to accentuate more shadows and contrast. Moving on to the tiles, I'm keeping this part of the painting mostly blank as to not overwhelm this painting with too many colors. I'm going in with a soft light brown to indicate the grout. Then I'm taking that same shade, but a little more diluted, to create shadows on some of the tiles. After adding a light gray shadow against the flip-flops, I'm taking my white Uniball Signo gel pen and adding some highlights to this piece. I also added some squiggles to the water to add even more movement and highlights. For the finishing touch, I used my clear Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust pen to add a subtle glistening shimmer to the water. Now that the cover's done, I'm pasting it into my bullet journal. For the adhesive, I used my Tombow Mono Adhesive Tape Runner. Here is my completed June cover page. I love the subtle shimmering effect from the Stardust pen. I typically like to outline most of my paintings with black fine liner, but I decided not to do that for this piece. I love how delicate and gentle the painting looks without it. Moving on to my monthly spread, I'm starting off with a few pastel Tombow dual brush pens to write out June. For this month, I decided to do an all caps printed font with somewhat of a balloon or floaty effect to it with the rounded edges. I went over one side of each letter with another layer of marker to add a subtle shadow. For the calendar, I'm using a light brown Tombow dual brush pen to outline the boxes. I'm also outlining my monthly challenge and braindump boxes. Again, I'm just taking my white gel pen to add some highlights to this page. I took a variety of light Tombow dual brush pens to write in the days of the month. Taking my Sakura Pigma Micron in the 01 size, I'm labeling the days of the week as well as filling in my monthly challenge box. Taking my Tombows again, I'm adding some dots scattered throughout the page to add some more visual interest. I decided, since there were a lot of colors going on this page, that I should outline June using my fine liner to make it stand out more. I left some open areas to still give it a cute and bubbly effect. And here is my completed cover page and monthly spread. I love how fun and colorful this spread turned out. It incorporates fun pops of color, perfect for summer, but is still gentle and delicate. Moving on to my daily doodles page. This time, for the heading, I'm going in with my watercolors to paint the letters. I'm also using watercolors to create each box for the days of the month. I'm switching the colors similar to how I did the numbers for the monthly calendar in the previous spread. I decided to use watercolors for this spread rather than the Tombows since I wanted a softer color palette. I'm also outlining my monthly favorites and memories boxes, as well as labeling them. For the font, I still wanted the round bubble effect, but just switched it to lowercase letters. Now I'm just labeling each box with the coordinating day of the month using my Sakura Pigma Micron. Moving on to some decorations for the spread, I wanted to bring back the water element to this page, so I painted some of those blobs around the heading. This is when I noticed how different it was to paint these blobs on the actual Archer and Olive paper compared to the watercolor paper. The paint dried almost instantaneously and didn't leave much opportunity to blend out the edges of each shape. I'm taking my stickers from journalsay.com and I'm just layering them on the bottom part of the spread. I wanted to add some of the pool and water stickers that I had to match the theme. I'm also adding a few strips of washi tape for more texture. Taking a Pentel Fude Touch brush pen, I'm writing out a lyric from one of my favorite songs, Wild Blue by John Mayer. I just felt like it went with the theme pretty well. I'm using the clear Sakura Stardust pen again to add some sparkles to the spread. I also added some circular watercolor washi stickers scattered throughout the spread. These are also from journalsay.com. Now I'm just using the white gel pen again to add more details to the water, as well as the Sakura Stardust pen. And with that, the June Doodles page is done. I love how soft and gentle this spread turned out. It just makes me think of a calm and relaxing dip in the pool. Now on to the last spread, which is my first weekly spread of June. For this spread, I'm doing something a little different. If you've seen any of my previous Plan With Me videos, you'll know that I typically like to use my Sakura Pigma Microns to outline each of these boxes. But this time, I wanted to switch it up and use my pastel Tombows instead. I feel like this choice would match more stylistically with the previous spreads. I'm just going in with a variety of colors for each box. For my daily boxes, I typically have Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday's boxes be the same color. Monday, Thursday, and the notes boxes would be a second color, and Tuesday and Friday would be a third color. That way the boxes alternate between colors. This is just something I like to do just for some variety. Now that the boxes are drawn in, I'm taking the Tombows again and adding little circles along the top and bottom margins. I'm going in and filling in my boxes now. I like to have the boxes on the top left indicate the month and week. Then I have my calendar box with the current week highlighted. I'm creating my trackers under that, such as my habit, weight, and mood trackers. Now I'm labeling each daily box with the dates as well as the notes box. Also, my expense trackers for my personal, joint, and credit card accounts. And with that, my first weekly spread's complete. I prefer to keep my weekly spreads simple and minimal compared to the monthly spreads, as I find them more manageable to set up throughout the month. Here is a flip through of today's spreads. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Let me know what theme you'll be doing for June, and if you have any future video suggestions you'd like to see. I love hearing from you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!